Welcome to Lead with Linnea, where we talk about real leadership for real people in the real world. I'm Linnea Rader, and I've spent 2 decades in public service leadership. From accounting to my current role as the Director of Finance and Human Resources, I've seen pretty much everything. The spectacular successes, the painful failures, and everything in between that makes leadership both challenging and incredibly rewarding. Here's the thing. Leadership is not reserved for people with fancy titles or corner offices. Every single one of us can be a leader in our personal and professional lives. Whether you're managing a team of 50 or just trying to figure out how to navigate office politics, whether you're a frontline worker or sitting around a boardroom table, leadership skills matter. My approach? I skip the fluff and get straight to what really works. You won't find theoretical frameworks or feel-good platitudes here. Instead, you'll get practical, tested strategies from someone who's been in the trenches, made the mistakes, and learned the hard lessons so that you don't have to. Through Lead with Linnea, I provide leadership development training and coaching because I'm passionate about helping people discover their authentic leadership potential. And honestly, some days you need to laugh to keep from crying, and some days you just need someone to tell you the truth about what leadership really looks like. So whether you're listening while you commute, taking a walk, or just need someone to remind you that you've got this, I'm here for you. So let's dive in and talk about what it really takes to lead with authenticity, impact, and maybe a little bit of sanity. Ready? Let's go. From Micromanager to Leader, a reformed control freak's guide to letting go. So let me ask you some tough questions. Are you a micromanager or a leader? Here's the difference, and it is crucial. A micromanager dictates exactly how tasks must be done, hovering over every detail and controlling every step. A leader provides vision and overall direction, then trusts their team to figure out how to get there. Which are you? Be honest. The brutal truth about my micromanagement days. I'll be brutally honest with you. I've gotten stuck in those weeds before. When I transitioned from accounting to being the Finance and Human Resources Director, the person who took my place, in hindsight, I feel terrible for her. Don't worry, Sean is doing great now. I knew what I did and how I did it. I knew what worked for me, and I had created how-to guides for most tasks. I had it down to a science. So naturally, I thought I was being helpful by sharing all that knowledge. I focused on how she needed to do every task. I obsessed over each step, what notes I made, where I put check marks to verify I checked things, the exact sequence of every process. I thought I was setting her up for success. I was being a micromanager. When I finally realized what I was doing, I was mortified. Here I was, someone who prided herself on leadership skills, and I was hovering over my replacement like she couldn't tie her own shoes. So why micromanagement is leadership poison? Before we dive into recovery, let's talk about why micromanagement is so destructive. It kills innovation. When you dictate every step, you eliminate any opportunity for your team to find better ways of doing things. Your way might work, but it might not be the best way. It destroys confidence. Constantly being told exactly how to do everything sends the message that you don't trust your team's judgment or capabilities. People stop thinking for themselves because you've trained them not to. It creates bottlenecks. Everything has to go through you. Every decision, every process, every minor detail. You become the constraint that slows everything down. And it burns you out. You're trying to control everything and everyone. It's exhausting and unsustainable. Plus, you're doing work that should be delegated. It drives good people away. High performers want autonomy and trust. If they feel micromanaged, they'll find somewhere else to work where their skills are respected. The stress response, when leaders revert. Here's something nobody talks about enough. Do you default to micromanagement when you get stressed? When deadlines are looming, when reports won't balance, when everything feels like it's falling apart, do you suddenly start dictating every detail? I did. Even after I recognized my micromanagement problem, there were times when stress would hit and I'd revert to my old habits. I'd pull out those detailed how-to guides and start demanding that every number be checked off exactly the right way. Good news? I learned to catch myself. That moment I realized I was doing it, I'd take a step back and knock it off. The question trap. Another micromanagement trigger? What happens when team members ask you questions? Do you immediately jump into step-by-step directions? Or do you help them think through the problem? It's natural to want to give people the right answer quickly. But when you do that consistently, you train your team to come to you for everything instead of developing their own problem-solving skills. So your recovery plan. How to break the micromanagement habit. Becoming aware was my first step. But realizing you're a micromanager and actually changing your behavior are two different things. Here's the roadmap that worked for me. Step 1, acknowledge the reality. Stop making excuses. If people seem to need constant direction, if nothing else gets done without your direct input, if you're working longer hours because you're involved in everything, you're probably micromanaging. Own it. Step 2, define success, not progress. Instead of telling people how to do something, be crystal clear about what success looks like. What's the end goal? What are the non-negotiables? What's the timeline? Then step back and let them figure out the how. Step 3, ask questions instead of giving answers. When someone comes to you with a question, resist the urge to immediately solve their problem. Try asking, what options have you considered? What do you think would work best? What would happen if you tried X? What additional information do you need? Step 4, set check-in points, not checkpoints. Instead of hovering over every step, establish regular check-in meetings where you can review progress, remove obstacles, and provide guidance. This gives you visibility without being controlling. Step 5, celebrate different approaches. When someone accomplishes a goal using a method different from yours, celebrate it. This reinforces that you care about results, not rigid adherence to your preferred process. Step 6, catch and correct yourself. You're going to slip back into old habits, especially when stress hits. The key is catching yourself quickly and course correcting. I literally had to develop the habit of asking myself, am I micromanaging right now? And finally, step 7, build a team that will call you out. This is crucial. Surround yourself with people who feel safe enough to tell you when you're slipping back into micromanagement mode. I can proudly say I've built a team that would absolutely call me out if I got back in that habit. They pretty well rock. The leadership mindset shift. Here's a fundamental shift you need to make. Your job isn't to control every process. Your job is to develop people, remove obstacles, and create an environment where your team can do their best work. When you micromanage, you're essentially telling people you don't trust them to be competent adults. When you lead, you're showing them you believe they're capable in figuring things out and growing in their roles. The Reformed Micromanager's Reality Check. I've said it already, my transition was not perfect. There were times when old habits crept back in, usually when I was stressed or dealing with tight deadlines. But each time I caught myself faster and corrected course more quickly. The beautiful thing about breaking the micromanagement habit, you don't just become a better leader, you create space for your team to surprise you with their capabilities. You discover that people are often more creative, efficient, and effective than you expected when you give them room to work. So your next steps. If you're recognizing yourself in this post, don't panic. Micromanagement is a learned behavior, which means it can be unlearned. Start with awareness, then work through the steps I've outlined. Remember, your people don't need you to control every detail of their work. They need you to provide clear direction, remove obstacles, and trust them to deliver results. The difference between a micromanager and a leader isn't just about management style. It's about believing in your team's potential and giving them the space to reach it. What micromanagement habits are you ready to break? How do you catch yourself when stress makes you want to control everything? I would love to hear about your journey from controller to leader. Share that in the comments. Thank you for joining me today on Lead with Linnea. I hope something we talked about resonates with you and gives you a tool you can actually use in your leadership journey. Remember, leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional, authentic, and willing to keep learning and growing. You're going to face situations you never saw coming. make decisions that feel impossible, and sometimes wonder if you're cut out for this whole leadership thing. It's normal, it's human, and that's exactly why we need leaders like you who are willing to do the hard work. If today's episode sparked some ideas about training or coaching for you or your team, I'd love to hear from you. You can reach me at Linnea at leadwithlinnea.com or give me a call at 269-621-5282. Whether you're looking for one-on-one coaching, team training, or need someone to speak at your next event, let's talk about how we can help you and your people become the leaders your organization needs. You can find more resources, read my blog post, and learn more all about my services at leadwithlinnea.com. As always, carry social kindness with you everywhere you go. This world needs you and your positive mindset. Until next time, keep leading and keep growing.